Okay, what's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me, you can hear me. What's up, Erica? Give me a wave. What's up, Mark? What's up, Frank Bruno? What's up, Steven? What's up, Laura? Nice to see you. Cynthia, you're here and you're gone. What's up, Troy? What's up, Sagreta? Nice to see you. We got Mark in the house. We got Ava. We got Andy. And I need to see some beautiful faces, folks. You know I throw people off these calls. Like, it's a terrible habit, but I just chuck people off the call. Look at that Michael Leonard coming in. Look at that Michael M coming in. Just look at these gorgeous looking people. All right, Darina Joy, Geeky Funky. Geeky Funky, I got to see that face. Otherwise, Geeky Funky is going to be deletey funky off this call, right? So look, folks, I'm going to go heavy on AI today. As you know, I've been going deep on this subject, speaking with all the experts around the world. We're about to cut $1 million check on Friday to what I'm calling the Open AI killer, the company that we think is going to dominate the AI race. And I want to tell you about that investment, the CEO. I got a new video dropping I haven't shared with the public. And of course, we know Goldman Sachs just said 300 million jobs in jeopardy because of AI. Can I get a poll here? Raise your hands if you're worried about AI, if it's got you concerned about the future. Come on. Hands up if you're paying attention. Hands down if you're not paying attention. Okay. All right. So most people, Ava's like, Michael Leonard's like, Okay, Michael, yes. Put those hands up again. Let me just see. You all better be worried. Steven knows what's up. Andy. Okay. Look, I have gone deep on this. All right. I got an engineering degree. I know a thing or two about blockchain. I know a thing or two about coding. And this has really got my attention to where I'm working 24/7 on this because I think it involves the future of my children more than anything. The next 2 years is going to determine the rest of our eternity and whether it's the machines or us, in my opinion. And I'm not just making this up. I've spoken with a lot of experts on camera and off camera. If I showed you my WhatsApp, it's full with messages and voicemails from these top experts where I'm saying, look, one thing we didn't talk about on the show is you seem scared to me. Are you scared? Did you not say something? Because it felt like you wanted to tell me one more thing. And then they tell me, well, Brian, this is what I was really thinking, but I couldn't say it publicly because of na. I'm talking with the top people from Google. I'm talking with the top AI engineers that have been in this field for 30 years. So I'm starting to get a picture of what's going on. I had an MIT professor on last week. I've got all these people signed up and I'm speaking with everybody here to get a pretty good picture of what's going on. And I want to share it with you as well as how we're going to invest, because I believe if you want to determine the future, you need to create it. Has anyone ever heard that quote? Right? How many people feel that way? Well, that's why I'm here, because we think we can actually determine the future by putting work in right now. And that means capital and attention. Now, I've got a media platform with 2 million subscribers on YouTube, 5 million subscribers worldwide, 1 billion views. And I don't know if you remember, but back in 2020, we made a lot of people angry around the world as we published the truth at the time and went head to head against trillion-dollar technology companies, right? Major G20 governments, right? World Health Organizations, Ofcom here in the UK. And we just went head to head with them. So never underestimate the power of a small guerrilla army. I call them the London Real Army, of people that can actually change, right? Does everyone feel me here? Right? That's what we're about to do. So look, folks, I'm going to drop into this. Again, last chance to turn cameras on. We got Hugh, Andy, Darina Joy, Hemant. I'm throwing someone out. Salwa Diab, you seem like a nice person, but I'm chucking you out. And then Martini, just throw up anybody who hasn't turned cameras on, because you know I like to see those faces. Salwa, you're gone. I'm sure you're a nice person. I'm not reporting you, though, if that's okay. So again, turn cameras on. Leave me questions in the chat. I'm going to go to those at the end, but I'm going to go fast. I'm going to play some video, all right? And maybe take some notes. Honestly, pay attention, because this is going to affect your life, your job, your children, your investments, and your future very, very quickly. And you can't put this genie back in the bottle. Everybody with me here? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, Martini, check anybody out whose cameras aren't on, and I'm going to jump into this right now. All right, I just cooked this presentation up this morning for all y'all, so here we go. Boom, thumbs up if you can see this. This is me. All right, can you see that, Mark Gillian? Yeah, can you see that, Marco? Reggio, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Frank Bruno, Erica Slayton, thank you. She's giving me the double thumbs. Okay, so Goldman Sachs, our good friends at Goldman Sachs, our benevolent bankers, Goldman Sachs, says AI to replace 300 million jobs. Who thinks they're telling us the truth? Raise your hands. So you know it's probably more like 1 billion, right? Come on, right? Never trust a Goldman Sachs person. I knew that. I used to cover them as a client when I worked in the city. Watch out for those guys. But I'm also going to show you what we need to watch out for, but I'm also going to show you how to profit from investing. Again, we think we shouldn't just sit back and let it happen to us. The biggest way I can affect the future is to broadcast and channel capital into the people that I think are going to do AI in the right way. Does that make sense to everybody here? Those are the two things I can do. One thing I could do, Erica, I could go down to Parliament with one of those signs and I could walk around saying, hey, regulate AI now before we all die. I could do that, but I don't think it's going to be as effective, right? And so otherwise I would, but I don't. But I think what I'm doing right now is going to be super effective. And I'm going to show you exactly why. So pay attention. We're going to move fast. You've seen the headlines, right? 300 million full-time jobs worldwide are going to be impacted by AI systems like ChatGPT. We're already seeing people losing work, right? And then they want to say roughly 2/3 of current jobs are exposed to some degree of AI automation. Raise your hand if you think 25% of your job could be done by AI right now. Come on, be honest, Mark. Come on, Frank Bruno, what do you do? Something super creative? Mark was like, not me. My hands are up. There's AI versions of me that are better than me, right? They don't have to sleep, no attitude, right? Always perky. They can change clothes and like that, right? Well, I'm not kidding myself. The AIs can do a lot of stuff. And if you don't think it could do 25% of your workforce right now, what are you kidding me? What are you, a screenwriter? Oh, I'm sorry. It does that better than you right now. What are you, a graphic designer? Oh, I'm sorry. It does that better than you. Do you work in customer service? I'm sorry. It already does that better than you too. Are you a copywriter? I'm sorry. It does that better than you too. Do you see where I'm going here, Erica? You feel me here? Folks, I just say wake up to this because that's today. In 6 months' time, these things are going to be even more advanced. By the way, they can simulate voices. They can simulate video right now. They're doing text to video now. You type in text and it makes a movie. Has anybody seen some of those things? They're pretty impressive. Not perfect. The images are crazy right now, if you've seen them. Absolutely crazy. So again, the guys at Goldman Sachs and the men and women of Goldman Sachs, AI can substitute up to 1/4 of the current workforce. Okay, that's about 1.5 billion people out of a job. How do you think that's going to affect the world? Do you think real estate prices in a city like London are going to go up or down if, say, 25% of the workforce is gone? Exactly, down. Remember when during COVID, people were fighting over toilet roll? Do you think that's going to be a little problem when 25-40% of the workforce doesn't have a job? Like they're going to be probably much worse than that, right? We already have supply control issues or supply line issues as well. So the crazy thing is, this is the last part of the slide, is that white collar workers are some of the most likely to be affected. We always thought it was going to be the taxi drivers and the workers at the Amazon that were going to get affected first, right? Raise your hand if you thought that. Come on, probably, right? Truck drivers or something, right? No, it's the lawyers. It's those greedy lawyers. And it's those coders, those computer programmers, like the kids I went to at MIT with. Those were the smartest kids in the school. I thought they were going to be golden. And now ChatGPT can write code. So it's turning the world upside down and we've got to pay attention. So stay with me, folks. Get your seatbelt on because this is going to move really fast. This headline happened in Britain literally a couple of days ago. BT, which is a major company here, British Telecom, got a big ass tower here in London. It says BT at the top. It says it's going to cut 55,000 jobs and replace 1/5 with AI. And they weren't even embarrassed to say that. Imagine what the truth is. It's probably 20%, sorry, probably more like 40%. They just came out and said 10,000 jobs of one of the biggest companies here in Britain, right? It's an institutional icon of Britain is doing that. And they're announcing that in May. So what's the truth? What are they going to announce in September? What are they going to announce in December? I mean, this is crazy how fast this is happening, but this is it. This is the news headlines. I'm not making this stuff up. What else? Now we've seen the AI wars begin. Google just improved their Bard, and now it's taken on OpenAI ChatGPT. By the way, raise your hands if you play with ChatGPT. Anybody here play with that so far? Mark Gilligan, I know you have. I can see it in your eyes. Steve, James, Antoine, a little bit. Okay. How many people play with Google Bard? Anybody play with Bard? Not bad. Bard.google.com. Go check it out. Bard plugs directly into the internet in real time, right? You like how they threw caution to the wind there. Just plug it into the live internet. Why? Because they're worried about losing market share to Microsoft. So they plug it in. Guess what? It goes into all your docs. And let's think about Google. Google owns the largest search engine in the world. It also owns the second largest search engine in the world, which is YouTube. It's got your Gmail. It's got your docs. It's got your slides. and it can plug all this Bard into all of those features. It can dump the results right into your Google documents. Do you think it has an edge over ChatGPT? Maybe Google? I think it does. And Bard looks good. It gives you 5 different answers. It gives you the source. It gives you all sorts of stuff. So don't get it wrong, folks. The game is on. And Bard just came back massively. And I'm now a little bit worried about ChatGPT. Also, Bard is free. ChatGPT is $25 a month or whatever the hell it is. So what else? Google overruled a risk assessment to launch Bard, right? It said out of code red in December 2022, because if ChatGPT is successful, Google search is dead. How many people here you still use Google search? Come on, be honest. I know you do. You don't use that DuckDuckGo nonsense. You know you do. Okay, right? Okay. Yeah, we do. And you know how much money it makes? It's a cash cow for that company. It's basically the only thing that makes them money. But who needs Google search if you just ask ChatGPT? You don't have to go to a website and find the answer. The computer tells you the answer. And if you don't like the version, you ask it for another answer and it tells you the answer. Does everyone see how search is going to be dead in the short term, right? Does everyone feel me? So they're worried. So guess what they did? They connected it directly to a live internet, which is the big no-no in AI. You don't connect it to a live internet, because once it's connected to a live internet, it can start doing crazy things, right? It can write its own code, it can reproduce, it can get better, and it can start messing with systems. I don't know. Say it decides to, I don't know, tap into the electrical grid tomorrow. Maybe it decides to hack into nuclear power plants the next day. Does everybody see why this is something a little bit dangerous? That's why ChatGPT didn't do it. But Google is looking at its stock price going to zero unless it fights back against ChatGPT. And this is the danger, folks. This is why both companies and everyone in the world is going to take this thing all the way. It's a race to zero. It's a race potentially to create godlike creatures that are going to dominate us as humans. Now, I'm going to go a little dark here, but I promise to bring back the light. Is that cool with everybody? Put your hands up. I'm going to bring back the light. Say, Greta, I promise. I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to go a little dark here, just like any good preacher. All right, but that's what we're going to do. Even the Google boss, Sundar Pichai, admits that AI dangers are keeping him up at night. That's the thing, folks. When you watch these people do interviews, look at their eyes, listen to the tremor in their voice. They are scared. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, he's terrified. Their chief science officer, Ilya Yukhachevsky, or whatever his name is, scared. Pichai, scared. Satya of Microsoft, I don't think he's scared, because I'm not, I don't know, maybe he is an AI already. I think for him, they've been the ugly stepchild for so long, he just wants some payback. Microsoft wants payback. They're tired of getting smoked by these companies the last 20 years. And Satya's just like, I don't care, man. My stock's up 40%. You all can just get one of those, as we say in Britain. So he doesn't care, and they're throwing caution to the wind. What else is happening? The godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, left Google and warns of dangers ahead. And every AI specialist I spoke to, the guys from MIT, the guys that have been in this for 30 years, all say this guy's the OG, Mac Daddy, right? He knows what's up. He was fighting for AI 30 years ago when nobody cared. He was championing large neural networks when nobody thought it was going to work, all right? And now he's worried. The White House just summoned everybody to the White House. And of course, the Congress, the Senate just summoned them all there as well. And all of them were told they had a moral duty to safeguard society, all right? Are they going to do it? I don't know about that, but they were told. And of course, people saying, should we shut down AI? That's the question. How many people here think we should shut it down? Hands up. No hands up. Okay, okay. So Laura says that. Laura, put in the chat why you think we should. Look, in theory, it's not a bad idea, Laura. The problem is that if everybody doesn't stop, it makes it detrimental to shut down, right? So if the US shuts down and China and Russia continue, you got a problem. Or if the US company shut down and the CIA continues, you got a problem. Or if Microsoft says they shut down, but in the back lab they keep going, we have a problem. So nobody trusts anybody. So what do? They keep developing. And that's the situation we're in. It's dangerous. This is a guy named Dr. Hugo de Guerra. He's an AI scientist. He wrote a book called The Art-elect War. And he asked me this question. He said, Brian, do we create our exterminators? That's what his question was. I want to play a quick video from this guy because he's been in this field for 30 years. If anybody should know what's about to happen, it's him. And I want you I actually want your opinion if you think he's right on this. So this is what Hugo said when I had him on the show literally about 10 days ago.
Do we build gods, or do we build our potential exterminators? I mean, I used to say, I'm going to die quietly in my bed. that my grandchildren will be caught up in this horrible conflict that I'm predicting is coming. But now I'm suddenly have question marks. God, I might even see it.
You say that the machines might just take us out in the back and...
Once it can start redesigning itself, you get an exponential explosion of intelligence. And then our fate as human beings depends on the machine. It's only a question of time before humanity is forced to choose between stopping development in artificial intelligence. I don't see that as realistic. Or we just accept the idea that sooner or later, we, as a human species, we become number two. The answer to that is, as I'm predicting, war.
Do you think China is behind the West right now for AI?
The potential of the Chinese is phenomenal. The Chinese, they've been dominant, the dominant power for not just centuries, but for millennia. The last 2 centuries or so, when they're economically dipped, that for them, given their 5,000-year history, is a glitch. It's a historical glitch. So deep down in the Chinese mentality is the push to get back, quote, where we belong.
So can you really isolate and stop the development of AI?
Personally, I feel it's inevitable. Do we build gods or do we build our potential exterminators? That's the issue. Should humanity build artilects?
What do you think of the professor? You like him or you don't like him? Come on, be honest. You like him? He's one of those crazy professors, right? With the things in the background. I mean, you couldn't script him out of Hollywood, could you? Any better than that, right? Well, how do we feel? How many people think we should build gods? Raise your hand. How many people think we should just stop then? Put your hands up. We should stop. It's a tricky one, right? And if you're a scientist, your whole life is meant solving problems, right? You spend your whole life, how can you not do this thing? You can tell these AI scientists, but you're going to create the machine that's going to kill you. And what are they going to do? Do you think they're going to build it? How many people think they'll build it anyways? They will. They will. They can't help themselves, right? They can't help themselves. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a very difficult situation here, and it's very hard. Now, there has been some historical signs that have shown us there are ways to get everyone to stop, but it's not the simplest thing. So that was Hugo. I thought it was really good to have him on here. And this is what I want to talk about today. First of all, I want to make it clear that artificial intelligence is here now. And you cannot put the genie back in the bottle. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Whereas crypto has now going through a quieter time than it did last year or the year before, which was crazy. This is not going to slow down because this is the only technology that can improve itself. Is that clear to everybody? Just thumbs up if that makes sense. A nuclear warhead can't make a better nuclear warhead itself. It requires humans. Artificial intelligence can test itself. It can write code and it potentially improve itself. And once it gets to AGI, artificial general intelligence, human level intelligence, now it's smarter than us. Now, humans have been the smartest thing on the planet now for a couple 100,000 years, right? Hands up if everybody agrees, right? It's the smartest that always dominates. Do we have the sharpest teeth? Yes or no? No. Do we have the strongest muscles? Yes or no? No, chimpanzees are much stronger than we are. Are we the biggest creatures? No, we're the smartest. And how do we treat anybody that's not as smart as us? Do we treat them well? Anybody want to be a cow on this planet or a chicken? Anybody want to be a horse? I didn't think so. So how do you think we're going to be treated? I want you to think about that. 25% of all jobs will be replaced soon. And then potentially 100% of all jobs. And I'll talk to you about that. But then I'm going to show you some light because we right now are investing and we're going to not only invest in profit, but we're also going to create the AI of the future. And the only way we're going to do that is to create wealth along with it. Don't get it twisted. A charity case isn't going to solve this problem. It has to be value for everybody. So again, we're currently investing. We're going to put over $3 million in 3 deals this quarter. I'll show you a bit what we're doing, but we're very, very active investors. This is it that we do. This is London Real Ventures. How many people knew about this before? Put your hands up if you've heard of London Real Ventures before. Most people haven't. So when I'm not interviewing guests in the studio, when I'm not with my students in my academy teaching, and when I'm not talking to you on these master classes, I'm investing or helping my team invest in the biggest game-changing companies in the world. We are trying to create asymmetrical wealth. We're looking for 100, 200, 500x returns, 1,000x returns, where you put in a small amount of money and you make a lot. by doing it, I'll show you, through private equity investments in big game-changing technologies. We only invest in AI, Web3, and Metaverse technologies. Pretty much right now, that's what we've looked at. And because of my media platforms, we are seeing the hottest deals in the world because we are the world's first media-powered investment firm. And that's how we're seeing this deal flow. Because I take the CEOs and I stick them in the leather chair. I'll explain what we do, but we're seeing the best of the best. This is our portfolio of companies. Like I said, we're closing about 3 or 4 more deals in the next 30 days, but these are our companies. I'll go through them later. Fathom, Orange Comet, Across the Ages, one of the hottest games that's launching this year in Europe. Swissborg, which is the bank of the future, et cetera, et cetera. So, including, we're closing this Friday, the OpenAI killer, and I'll explain exactly how this works and why it's of maybe interest to you. The greatest way to predict the future is to create it. I'll say this one more time. The greatest way to predict the future is to create it. So I've been coming in literally every day of the week. I'm up super early in the morning now because this is my mission. I need to be the most informed person about AI, but I also need to know about what are the hottest deals happening. And I need to find out how I can get my students into those deals on a 45-degree angle at the lowest valuations so we can see the biggest gains. That's what I'm up to lately. And I'll be doing this probably 24/7, probably for the rest of the year, because I think this time is crucial. How many people agree with this statement, by the way? Greatest way to predict the future is to create it, right? You either do that or you go into the corner and you hope and pray, or you stick your hand in the sand like the ostrich. Is that who does that, right? That's not going to work. Or you're going to go protest in front of parliament. I don't think any of those are going to work. I'd rather have a fighting chance. And again, in 2020, we fought back. And in my opinion, we won. We took some hits. They almost completely removed my channel from YouTube. It was a little scary, but we basically won. And we showed the truth of what's happening. I'm broadcasting one of my episodes from April 27th of 2020 today, right now on my YouTube channel. And it's crazy how accurate we were as far as what was really going on. I couldn't put that on YouTube 3 years ago because they would have deplatformed me, but I'm putting it up now just to show that we were ahead of the game. So again, never underestimate the power of someone with a will and a team. You don't even need that much money to do this. And that's what we're doing. So let's jump into this. First, before I go, you got to know what your why is before you do any of this. Why do you get up in the morning? For us, our mission here at London Real is to create a mass-scale transformation of humanity into a fully empowered, conscious, and cooperative species. This is our mission statement on the wall at headquarters. Martini's been here. She's seen it. If you ever visited us, you can see it on the wall. This is why we do this. We are here to transform humanity. And one of the ways we're doing it is by investing in the right companies. And I got another why too. It's these two gentlemen. We were away this weekend. You can see all of our hijinks on Instagram, but they rode their first horse on Saturday. I was pretty happy about that. We had some birds landing on them, some predator birds. We had some water slides. It was pretty good. It was pretty gangster weekend. Thank you. Papa did good. And the cat as well. Yeah, the cat, we're doing it for the cat too. So this is my why. I wake up every day and I'm thinking about their future because Caden turned 7 on Wednesday. And in 10 years from now, he's going to be 17. His 17 is going to be so different than my 17 because he is going to be surrounded by artificial intelligence everywhere. Maybe he won't have a job. Maybe there won't be jobs. But I'm very concerned about the future of him and every other human on this planet because it's going to be fundamentally different than any human for the past 200,000 years. How many people agree with that? 10 years from now, it's going to be such a different human experience. We're potentially not even going to be the smartest or most dominant species, and that gets scary. So let's jump into it. This is Mo Gaudet. He's a former Google X Chief Business Development Officer. Has anyone ever heard of Google X? Put your hands up if you know what this is. This is their moonshot secret department. Okay, Erica knows about it. She's probably one of them, right? Erica, are you with them? No, she's cool. And so this is their crazy moonshot department where they used to work on all of their top secret stuff. And Mo worked there in AI, and he woke up one day, it was like 2017, and he saw how fast the machines were learning, and it made him sick, and he quit. And he started talking about happiness. And that's when he came on my show 5 years ago to talk about his book about happiness. And then he wrote a book called Scary Smart, The Future of AI. And he basically said, it's already happened. He's like, Brian, people think this is the 11th hour. Like this is our last chance. He said, this isn't the 11th hour. This is the last 30 seconds before midnight. He said, Google is creating God. And let me play a quick video from Mo because I think it's really important to get some context. And again, I'm bringing it back. Don't worry, I'm bringing it back, but I want you to know just where we are because I don't think anyone's telling you this. I think most of the public doesn't understand what's actually going on right now. And so I want you to know, and this is what Mo is saying.
AI has already happened. The genie is already out of the bottle. We truly are creating a form of life. There is so much we don't know that it could be the best thing that ever happened to humanity, and it could be the worst. Our conviction of the control problem is not a technical issue. It's an arrogance issue. It's human arrogance to believe that I can continue to control something that is a billion times smarter than I am. Einstein's intelligence compared to a fly. And the question is, what would make Einstein care for the fly? Why wouldn't Einstein squish the fly? Your fate and my fate is no longer in our hands. Don't attempt to control them. They are a form of a living being. Attempt to appeal to their value system. The moment of singularity is a moment where the smartest being on planet Earth is no longer a human.
Why should I plan my life past 2025? Because the world's going to change.
Oh, great question. When the complexity of the systems invented by a civilization exceeds the intelligence of the citizens living within it, the system has to reset. The idea of our future is held within this moment of infancy of AI today. They will use us as their role models.
This is the only thing we can do in your mind, is to start being nicer.
AI will grow up to be like you and me. It's simple as that. And the only way we can contain them is by being good parents. And I'm not asking anyone to change. I'm only asking people to find it within them, what they truly are. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Treat the machines as you would like to be treated. If we want a good future, please be good parents.
How do we feel about Mo? We like him. We're not sure. We like him. I think he's probably talking the truth. So again, once we hit artificial general intelligence, which is human level intelligence, which people like Mo and other experts are saying 2 to 3 years, maybe as soon as that. Then from there, when do we get to where it's 10 times as smart as us? 1,000, 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000 times as smart. When it's 1,000,000,000 times as smart, it's like Einstein to a fly. When they're that much smarter than us, is there anything a human can do better than the AI? Yes or no? Probably not. So then why are we here? These are the questions to ask. Then you have to ask yourself, how will they treat us? And Mo believes it's how we're going to treat them and treat each other. How many people think he's right, by the way? That they're going to recognize how we treat each other. Okay, a few of you. The rest of you are like, I don't know, Brian. I'm not sure yet either. I'm not sure. But Mo makes some really good points, and you can go watch this episode free on London Real. It's really important. All right, that set the stage. Now let me show you what we can do about this. All right. A couple more things, by the way. Godfather of AI, Jeffrey Hinton, again, he's worried about misinformation. That's his biggest worry. Actually, this is important. Let's talk about this briefly. Most of these AI people are saying misinformation, disinformation, overload, especially in the election next year and coming up to the election. So again, elections in America, very contentious. Again, we're already used to misinformation and disinformation. What, Russians were involved in the Trump election of 16, Hunter Biden laptop suppression of blah, blah, blah in 2020. But now talk about AI next level, where there's 10,000 different Joe Bidens all saying something, then they all look real. And you don't know what the hell is going on, right? All your friends are saying things and they're fake versions of them. You have no idea what's going on because there's so much misinformation out there. This is what some of these people are warning could be the first effect of all of this AI. Jeffrey Hinton is now scared of the tech he helped build. And of course, now we know that the jobs, everybody's talking about the jobs, including The Guardian and other places. Tom Hanks, the actor, has anybody seen this? He believes that AI is so advanced, he's going to star in the films after he's dead, right? That's pretty interesting. And it's very smart of him. He's been keeping his eye on this, and he's right. So now all these actors are trying to make sure they own their digital property rights, because they know if that goes into their estate, that could be worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. So everybody is getting wise to this. And of course, the Google DeepMind CEO, who's based here in London at King's Cross, literally 5 minutes away from me, he says some form of AGI, human level intelligence, is possible in a few years. Now, right now, ChatGPT is better than you at probably copywriting right now. Who thinks they can write better than ChatGPT right now? Put your hands up. Come on, let me see. Who can make a better image than Midjourney right now? Who can graphically design? Have you seen some of those images? They're next level, right? You can't do that. Who can write computer code better than ChatGPT? Maybe a couple. Anybody here? So they're already better than you at many things. Artificial general intelligence means they're better than you at everything. Everything. This guy is considered OG in the community, right? Google bought his company for $500 million a couple of years ago. It was a steal. He just got appointed head of all AI at Google, by the way. Great interview with him online as well. He says we're a couple of years away from AGI. You're going to see an interview with Ben Goertzel, who's now saying, when I squeeze him, he said, Brian, maybe 2026. Mo Gaudet said the same thing, 2 years. So literally, when there was a computer smarter than you and they can make a billion of them, I just don't know how we compete. So this is happening really, really soon, folks. That's why when I said to Mo, should I plan my life past 2025? And he said, that's a good question. Maybe you shouldn't. So that's why also when we invest, it's very urgent for us, because I also would argue most of your other investments could go to zero. I took this survey online. I actually chose the second one. And it turns out that 40% of the people actually think AGI will happen in the next 1 to 3 years. By the way, people used to think this was 2029 when this might happen, or even as late as 2045, but that's all been accelerated. Here's another thing, folks, that no one's telling you. Everyone in AI is shocked this is happening this early. I haven't met a single AI scientist that said, yeah, I always knew it was going to happen. Not a single one. Not Jeffrey Hinton, not Max Tegmark from MIT that I spoke to, not Mo Gaudet, not Harris. They all are surprised, and they know this better than anyone. So if they're shocked, it tells you something about this technology. Again, it's not me saying it. AI could automate 25% of all jobs. And this guy, Yuval Hari, he believes that now us humans, he said, for thousands of years, we lived inside the dreams and fantasies of other humans. He believes everything is a story. The reason that we put a man on the moon and the monkeys couldn't is because we told ourselves the story of a nation. We told ourselves the story of a dream and we made it happen. How many people agree with that, by the way? It's our storytelling that actually tells us what a company is, what a nation is. But he says soon we might find ourselves living inside the dreams and fantasies of an alien artificial intelligence. At the end of the day, we're storytellers. But it's great when other humans are telling us stories. We got to be careful. We got to look out for the weirdos and the people that are trying to control things on Twitter and stuff like that. But what if the artificial intelligence are telling us these stories? This is a big risk, and that's what people are worried about. Of course, Elon's working on his own AI play, so you know it's important. And we've seen the adoption of technology. This is the fastest adoption of technology in human history by a long shot. 0 to 100 million users in 2 months. That is flabbergasting, crazy. 0 to 1 million users in 5 days. Never before in history. It shows you how serious this is. Now we're in an AI arms race, and Sam Altman, the founder and CEO, or the CEO of OpenAI, says that if you think you understand the impact of AI, you do not understand. How many people here think you understand the impact of AI? You know what I'm going to say. You don't understand. But if you know that you don't understand, that means you truly do. So you've got to have doubt here. You got to say, look, I don't get this. How many people think that machines can be sentient in the future? They can be sentient and have feelings. Couple, okay, good. Laura's open-minded. Mark Gilligan, everyone else is saying, come on, Brian, it's a machine. This is what I'm talking about. That's what Sam's talking about. It's hard for you to imagine because you're used to, well, this thing's going to be close, actually. You're used to like a lawnmower. All of you grew up with simple machines. But this is a carbon-based computer up here. Does everyone agree? Basically, your brain is a carbon-based computer. Why can't a silicone-based computer copy this? If it's advanced enough, how long? Say it takes 10 years. Say it takes 100 years. Say it takes 1,000 years. But it's going to happen. That's the kind of paradigms that we have to get used to. And again, Biden's saying there's danger. So along comes our knight in shining armor, Dr. Ben Goertzel, CEO and chief scientist of SingularityNet. I took this picture 4 years ago when he came to London Real. This is the benefit of having a broadcast channel for 12 years. I was always seeking out the smartest people in the business, in everything. And so Ben came and talked to me in 2019 about artificial intelligence. And I think he was just about to go on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he was just talking about AI. And everyone was like, yeah, AI, okay. Pass the crypto. Yeah, AI, okay, that's fine. Pass the UFC, pass the beer, pass the nachos. Nobody really cared. But I had him on and we had a really deep conversation. So when ChatGPT popped in December, I was immediately on the horn to Ben. I said, Ben, you got to come on. And so Ben came back. Oh, by the way, his token went up 10x. His blockchain token went up 10x. Anybody here buy some of AGIX? went up 10x on the back of the ChatGPT news because there wasn't much you could buy in the AI space. You know, it's hard to buy Microsoft stock or Google stock because it's such a big company. So again, his stock popped, and I brought him back on, and I said, Ben, I need to talk to you. And so Ben came on and dropped about what was happening when it came to AI. And then he said, Brian, I've got the solution to all of this. These guys at OpenAI think they're solving a problem, but they're not. All they're creating is something called narrow AI. It just regurgitates information. I'm going to create what I call the OpenAI killer. And so I flew out to Texas 2 weeks ago at the Consensus Conference. I met with Ben. That's where I took this picture. And I pulled out my iPhone. I said, Ben, you've got to tell me what's going on here, because also we want to invest in this project. And I'm going to share with you a video. This has not been published. And this is Ben talking about this new project. I pulled him in the back of a private room, which is like some brick room. Like, I don't know where the hell we were. And I pulled up my phone just to get this video. And again, watch what he's saying and see if you can understand what he's talking about when it comes to his new project and how it's different than OpenAI.
Zarka is poised to take the next significant leap beyond systems like ChatGPT via infusing large language models with logical reasoning through a neural symbolic architecture, then other elements like evolutionary learning, which are good at inventing new things that leap further beyond the data that was in there. You need this logic part if you're going to do the creativity part. This is something that we know how to do in SingularityNet's AI team since forever.
What you're doing is something different than a lot of these other plays, like what we're seeing coming out of Silicon Valley.
What OpenAI has done with GPT-4, and I mean, it's awesome what the systems can do. On the other hand, everyone can see it can't tell reality from nonsense.
It seems like there's almost like two camps. You've got the large language model, narrow AIs that are going to this race to make these the ultimate. And then there's you over here that have been doing this for 5, 10, 20, for you 30 years.
I think the competitive advantage doesn't necessarily go to the people who have first come up with the GPT model. It could come to people who have deep understanding of these other AI modules that are to be combined with the transformer neural network, which comes down to the neural symbolic bit Zarka is doing.
SingularityNet has been on the blockchain for 4 years. It's always been about democratization. It's always been about an open marketplace. It's something we just don't see in these AI plays. They're usually surrounded by large tech giants. They're usually closed off to the public. They're usually trained in ways we're not sure of.
AGI, if it's going to create a beneficial technological singularity, if it's going to be good for all humanity, it can't be beholden only to the narrow goals of a very small group of people. You want the deployment to be decentralized, and you want to have a very diverse, broad group of people ongoingly participating and giving input to the AGI as it develops. And we're working on AI systems to do things like elder care and education and art and music and science. So I think if we architect AIs in a way that's designed to make them compassionate for humanity, in a way that's governed by a participatory, decentralized infrastructure, there's no reason to be pessimistic.
What do we think of Ben? Do we like his outlook on this? Right? I know he was talking about some complicated terms, and I'll try to explain those a little bit better. But Ben and his entire team at SingularityNet are creating this new company called Zarka. And Zarka is their response to ChatGPT. Now, they've been spending a lot of time in this space. And I also sat down with his COO of SingularityNet. Her name is Janet Adams. She's amazing. She also worked in the banking industry for 15, 20 years. So she really cut her teeth in challenging environments. But she's been working here at SingularityNet, creating these AGIs. That's their specialty. So when they see something like OpenAI, they're like, okay, that's great. But all it does is regurgitate words in the past. They can never think. And so she's going to help create this company, and she's the co-CEO of Zarka. And I sat down in my studio with her, and I want you to listen to Janet, because between Janet and Ben, and then a bunch of other amazing AI scientists, the top ones in the world, by the way, that only want to work for them. They don't want to work at OpenAI. They don't want to work for Google. They don't want to work for Microsoft. They want to create a decentralized, non-tech giant to do the right kinds of AI. And this is Janet Adams, and I really want you to get her vibe, because she brings some, quite frankly, much needed female energy to the space. She also really understands what's going on. And she's the person that's actually going to be able to wrangle everyone together for the final outcome.
Artificial general intelligence is completely different to narrow AI. AGI is more purpose-driven. It's a watershed moment for humanity.
Tell me about Zarka. This is the project that will create the AGI, and it's a supercharged, intelligent, neurosymbolic, large language model at massive scale. What is it?
Zarka is the accumulation of decades of research from teams containing the best artificial intelligence scientists in the world. We uniquely harness that expertise with our even more unique capabilities in neural symbolic techniques and the deeply advanced mathematics that Dr. Ben Goertzel, Dr. Matt Ickley, Dr. Alexei Potapov, and our top scientist, Sergei Shalyapin, have been working on for decades. We are building the most powerful large models ever invented.
With Zarka and Singularity Net and everything you've always done, it's always been about openness. It's always been about decentralization.
We'll be using blockchain technology to enable anybody to help train models. We're giving birth to a new species of sentient life in the universe. The actual greatest imperative is that they are used for good. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. Our goal, our mission is to eradicate inequalities.
When I look at the rest of the market now, I don't see any of those motivations because a corporation, by definition, is going to be motivated by money. You're the only project that even is thinking in any way, shape, or form about these.
We are going to transform what it means to be human on our planet. I foresee a future in which humans then evolve to a next level of being where we are actually conscious, where we feel our full joy engulfed in bliss and ecstasy of the joy of living, the joy of each other. I see a future of joy.
What do we think of Janet? We like Janet's energy. Do we want her involved in creating these future AIs? I think we do. And again, let's be honest. Most of the AI scientists are these, male engineers, a bit like me, who just want to figure out the problem, right? They just want to solve the problem because they've been working on the problem for 30 years of their life. And sometimes it's hard to get a bigger perspective of what that problem is going to create. There's a classic parallel here to what happened in something called the Manhattan Project in Los Alamos in New Mexico that was going on from about 1940 to 1944. What did they create? They created the first atomic bomb, and they dropped 2 of them on Japan. Now, Dr. Robert Oppenheimer at the time knew that what he created potentially would kill the human race. And he was really, really conflicted about it. He was like, what have I done? I don't want to do it. But they went ahead and did it. Now, like I said, the difference between that and AI is that those atomic bombs couldn't create better atomic bombs themselves. They needed humans. When AI gets to the AGI level, it won't need us anymore to create a better and better and better version. That's why this is dangerous. That's why they all know this is dangerous. So what can we do about this? Let's take about the next step, and I'm going to show you exactly what we can do about it. So now you've met Ben and Janet. And again, just to finish off, we know AI is taking over all these industries, not just healthcare, finance, and transportation, but law and computer coding, because it analyzes all these large amounts of data. It's going up to a $2 trillion market by 2030. That's probably going to be upgraded to $3 trillion soon because it's taking over everything that we do. I was back at MIT where I graduated back in '93. I stopped by the Sloan School of Management, one of the greatest business schools in the world. And my former professor said, Brian, an AI productivity boom is coming. Then I went to my fraternity house with 50 young men that are about to graduate. I said, what are you guys doing after school? I went to Wall Street. You're going into management consulting? Maybe you're going to become a computer programmer. No, they're all going into blockchain and AI. That's it. That's the hottest stuff out there. So when the smartest minds are going there, guess what follows? All the innovation. And you know what? I was watching Sam Altman in front of the Senate this week, and I looked up, I heard a funny voice. I was like, I know that voice. And I looked up, and it was Alexander Padilla. This guy was in my fraternity house. He graduated a year behind me. And now he's the senator from California asking Sam Altman questions about how AI is going to represent the people, et cetera. So it was just kind of weird just to see this all coming full circle and to see my old fraternity brother giving him a quiz show there. And so again, it's just very interesting to see this stuff all happening. And the good thing is that I'm plugged into a lot of people who can tell me what's really going on. And I want to make sure that all of my London Real family is making sure we're all on the same team to make sure we get the right outcome. and I want to create wealth for everybody. My plan is to create $10 billion of wealth for everyone around me here over the next 10 years, and we're going to do it. So again, just to summarize, AI is greatly going to improve efficiency and productivity, but it's going to drastically alter the workforce, the population, and society forever. And it's going to get crazy out there, folks. It really is. And when there is finally a singularity where the machines are smarter than us, we cannot predict the future. And Yuval Harari, author of Sapiens and Homo Deus, said at that point, that's when human history ends. That's what he said. That's when human history is over. And he's right. So look, 2023 is the year of AI. You can't sleep on this. I wouldn't wait a month. I wouldn't wait a year, that's for sure, because this is happening right now. And the changes are happening right now. This market moves like this. I mean, 2 weeks ago, it was all ChatGPT. Now Bard is back, and Bard is better than ChatGPT. Wait until the Zarka people come out with their product. It's going to be all over the map. So where and how do we invest, right? How? Let me show you. First, you got to find the hottest trend. You have to know, for example, the difference between AI and AGI, or narrow AI and AGI. Otherwise, you're not going to know. They're literally like apples and oranges. So Microsoft is making apples. The Singularity Net folks are making oranges. They're really completely two different things. If you try to group them together, you're missing the point. So what it's all about for me is deal flow, deal flow, deal flow. I want to be in the right room to hear about the right deal and then convince those people that they need to show me that deal and give us a piece of it so I can pass that on to you. So when I'm not in the studio interviewing guests, when I'm not teaching in my academy, when I'm not talking to you on master classes, and when I'm not taking my son's horseback riding, I am on the road finding deals. And this is me in Dubai in October. I'm at the GITEX. It's the largest technology conference in the world. 100,000 people there. It took me 3 hours to walk from one side to the other. It's crazy. It was like flying cars, and it was the craziest thing you ever seen. On the left, I'm talking to the biggest people in crypto with millions of followers, influencers. In the middle top, I'm talking to Dr. Marwan Al-Zaruni, who now is the CEO of Dubai's AI center and their digital center as well. He's now become a really good friend. In the bottom right, I'm hanging out at one of the biggest hedge funds in VC firms, actually in Dubai, where they have $5,000 bill sculptures on their walls, which I'm eyeing myself. And then the upper right are influencers. These people know where the deals are. But it doesn't stop there. Next, I'm off to Paris, right? I'm having private dinners with investors in the middle. I'm doing media on the left. I'm hanging out with key people of influence. I filmed a documentary when I was there. And then on the upper right-hand corner, I'm hanging out with our portfolio companies. So that's Cross the Ages there and Swiss Board. We've invested in both of those companies. Then I'm back to London at Token 2049. I'm hanging out with Yat Su. That's Yat in the upper left-hand corner. He's the most important person in the metaverse, runs a $4 billion fund, and he's constantly investing, and he believes AI is the future of the metaverse, and I'll explain why later. On the bottom right, that's Sammy Chlagu, the CEO of Cross the Ages, one of our really successful metaverse investments. In the bottom left, I'm hanging out with the alpacas, because you know what? I'm going to feel like them pretty soon, I think, with the AI. You know, we're going to feel like them. There'll be a rope around my mouth with the machines holding that. So I thought I'd make friends with them. Plus, I might need them for food in the future. Then I went back to Paris this year, and I'm hanging out with the top people. So in the bottom, that's Dan Tapiero. He runs an investment fund, $1 billion investment fund called 10T Holdings. He's raising another $1 billion. And I just found out we're going to be allowed to invest with him on his next fund. So my investment club will be putting $1 million into his fund. We're really excited. Upper right-hand corner is Tim Draper, one of the most successful VC investors in Silicon Valley. Comes from 3 generations or 4 generations of VCs. And then I'm hanging out with the top people in blockchain all around this conference. But of course, that's not enough. Then I'm off to Texas to hang out with Ben Goertzel, interview him. I'm hanging out with major blockchain leaders. And of course, in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm hanging out with Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Come on, throw your hands up if you're a William Shatner fan. Come on, you know you are, right? 92 years old, he's going strong. And the reason I got to meet with him is because one of our investments is a company called Orange Comet, and they just dropped his digital collectible right there on stage. So I got to hook them up with Yat Su, and those are the 2 guys standing up there in the kind of the middle part. That's Dave Broom, the CEO of Orange Comet, and Yat Su, and we're trying to work on an investment there. So it's been busy, but it's been busy because it's been fruitful, because we're looking at about 4 really hot deals right now. And so look, if you want to do well, you have to invest with the best. You can't screw around with these nonsense, wannabe, penny ante deals. You need to invest with the best in the business. I'm talking tier 1 deal flow. And that's what we're seeing right now. Right now, we're seeing the best deals in the world because people want our media platform And there's not a lot of capital out there right now. So we're seeing the best. And of course, we're looking at the best. So we're seeing all the top AI profiles right now. You're seeing about 100 of the companies there on the left that we've reviewed. Some of these are good, some of them aren't. Some of them are just ChatGPT plugins, nonsense. We would rather invest in the companies that are going to be the big players, right? The big dogs that are going to determine the future. And that's why we like Zarka. Look, before we get onto Zarka, and I want to show you the details here, you got to understand the financial tools, because if you don't understand the tools, you're not going to know how you can scale your investment. So quickly, let me show you how we invest. We invest in early stage artificial intelligence equity investments. This is the hottest opportunity, in my opinion, because you buy at super low valuations. You see the biggest gains. You can invest in the biggest dislocation of wealth in human history. Now, look, folks, don't get me wrong. This is high risk and high reward, but we can do this with asymmetric returns, which means you put a small amount of money to make a lot. And I'll show you exactly how. We do that by early stage funding. That can be seed funding, startup funding, or early growth funding. Let me just be clear to everybody here. This is when the company is still not profitable yet. Raise your hand if that makes sense to you, right? The company is still losing money, which is why they're going to give you a part of the company in shares for your investment. If they were making money, like Microsoft, they don't want your money. By the way, did anybody here get the chance to invest in OpenAI or Google Bard? Anybody? No, because they don't want your money. They want all of that upside. So you have to find the company that still is looking for investment. Not many are, because this is a hot sector. So that's where we go to look. Once we invest in the early equity stage funding, we can make a lot of money. Let me show you how. Does anybody know these two gentlemen? Raise your hand if you know them. Yeah, you probably got posters on your wall, right? You go to sleep thinking, oh, wow, there's Mark, right? So you got Mr. Zuckerberg on the left, who founded Facebook, now Meta. And on the right is Peter Thiel, legendary Silicon Valley investor. I wouldn't mind having a poster of him. I got some respect for him. So let me show you how Peter Thiel turned $500,000 into $1 billion. Does anybody want to hear this story? Because it's exactly how we invest behind the scenes. Okay, that's a big gain. Let me show you how real quick. So in 2004, Peter invested $500,000 in Facebook via, hint, 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 early stage equity private placement. Does this sound familiar? This is how we get the upside. At the time, it valued the company at $10 million. So he spent $500,000, bought 5% of the company for $10 million. Everybody with me here, right? Okay. Fast forward 8 years later, what happens? Facebook went public, IPO'd, right? Big IPO. Sold shares to the public. Now you can buy shares, Erica. Now you can buy shares, Stephen Weatherhead. Now you can buy shares, Mark, but you can't buy them at 10 million valuation. You got to pay $100 billion valuation, right? Because you know what the public markets are for? You know what IPOs are for? They're for sheep like you, and sheep get slaughtered. That's what we say on Wall Street. I worked there for 15 years. The only time we ever sell anything to you in the public is when we want to take profits. Raise your hand if you understand. Is that clear to everybody? These banks do not have any love for you. They love their private wealthy clients because they pay their big fees. So what happens? Peter Thiel made a 2,300x return. He made a 230,000% gain on that $500,000 investment, turned it into a cool $1 billion. What happened to the stock price once they sold it to you and your pension fund and your grandma? Did it go up? Stock price went down. Of course it went down, right? Well, say it did go up. Maybe it doubled on the day and you'd be sitting around popping your bottles. I made double my money. And Peter Thiel's laughing, saying, I made 2,000 times my money, right? That's the way it works, folks. They use you for liquidity to take profits. That's the only time you're ever going to see anything is when you're being used. What do they say? If you look around the poker table and you can't tell who the sucker is, then who's the sucker? You are, right? That's what happens here, folks. I saw it a million times. So what's the conclusion? A simple $10,000 investment would have made you $23 million. Who could have come up with $10,000 in 2004 if you knew it was going to make you this much money? Come on. Could have sold your car. $43 million. By the way, did anybody get the phone call in 2004 to get in on this deal? Anybody, your private banker call you? Of course you didn't, because the rich get richer with deal flow and you don't get to see it. Your banker's never going to show you this. They'll show you the IPO when it's time to take a profit. So the conclusion is the wealthy invest in early stage deals and the public markets are for suckers. That's it. If you go out and buy a share of Tesla, or buy a Bitcoin, that's great, or buy some Ethereum, that's great. But just know somebody else already made a killing on that. You just have to know that. How many people here own crypto, by the way? Raise your hand. I saw a bunch of people earlier owning some XRP and some Bitcoin and Ethereum. By the way, this works the same in crypto. Has anybody ever heard of a pre-sale? Crypto pre-sale tokens. Anybody ever heard of this? The same thing, right? You sell the tokens for a fixed price in order to fund a project. Let me show you how that works. How many people have heard of Solana? Hands up if you ever heard of Solana, or maybe you bought from Solana, right? Pretty big blockchain, 9th largest market cap. Well, look at this thing. Look at this. Can everybody see this red circle? Solana did a pre-sale of their token for how many cents? Can everybody see this? How many cents is it? 4 cents. Now look, just scroll over to the right. What do you see? They raised 3.17 million, and go all the way to the right. They sold 79 million tokens for sale. By the way, this is all in the blockchain. Don't take my word for it. It's all public knowledge thanks to the blockchain. Did anybody here buy them at 4 cents back in April 2018? No. And now it trades for 23 bucks. You could have made 59,000% return, but you didn't get the call because you're not in the deal flow. This is happening all the time, folks. Every single token you see on that exchange had a pre-sale years earlier. This is what we do in our investment club. We invest in pre-sale tokens and early stage equity so we can see 100x, 200x, 500x, 2000x returns. That's what we do. Folks, it only takes one of these deals to change your life. That's why we like this, because it has these asymmetric returns. Is that clear for everybody here? Okay, good. Let me go a little further. You can't get any of this if you don't pull the trigger. So if you saw these deals and didn't do anything, you have to get involved. So how do we get involved? We source the deals. And these are some front screenshots from over 200 pitch decks that we've sourced from me and all of my members inside my investment club, because I teach them how to find deals. By the way, the bottom right is Orange Comet, those race cars. That's the company we did invest in, $600,000. The one that got me access to William Shatner, that was the bottom right-hand corner. So we have some perks here. We see these decks all the time. We put them in our deal flow monitor. This is where we track every single deal. We track the blockchain it's on. We track how much they're going to invest, the expiration date, the valuation of the company. Is it a token sale? Is it an equity sale? All this goes. All of my members monitor this. We've got over 70 members right now in my investment club. And all these people are looking at it so they can invest in the deals. This is Orange Comet, right? They are building metaverses. They're revolutionizing Web3 gaming, and they're an entertainment company. They're ex-Hollywood folks that know how to create incredible media. And they're teaching the blockchain folks what it means to create Hollywood-style excitement. They're working with some of the top people in the world, like Sir Anthony Hopkins, Scottie Pippen of the Bulls, obviously William Shatner, the NFL. Are you kidding me? The Walking Dead, and some movie franchises that I can't even tell you about because I signed an NDA. But the biggest Hollywood movie franchises in history, they're working with. They're creating their metaverses. They're creating their digital collectibles. This is David Broom. This is my video of him in the leather chair. I won't play this for you, but you can go watch it on our website. It's for free. This guy is so intense, and he believes he's going to build a 10, 20, $30 billion company, which means we'll make a 200, 300x return on our investment. We're so excited about these guys. They're so much fun to be around, and they're so excited for the future, and they're just never going to die, right? They're so passionate, and they attract people like William Shatner and Sir Anthony Hopkins into this space. They're absolutely amazing. And yeah, we're just so excited to be a partner with them. But it's not just them. We invested in a company called Swissborg. It's the #1 wealth manager in Europe. They're building the bank of the future. And we believe that a platform like this will help us list our tokens in equity to sell them in the future. So we're building an empire here at London Real of all these different types of companies that can work together in the future. And this is our recent press release of us investing in their Series A, and we couldn't be more excited to work with them. But it keeps going. I've got this guy, Eric Poulier of Atom, in the studio Monday next week. It's our latest investment. They're building Web3 metaverses for companies like Google, PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, the biggest companies in the world. They signed a huge deal with Deloitte & Touche. The stuff they're building will blow your mind. And again, we're getting crazy valuations for these companies. We're buying them super cheap because there's not much capital out there right now. And we're getting in these really early deals. And if you're in my investment club, you can invest as little as $5,000 in a deal like this, or zero. It's up to you. Or somebody just invested $75,000. We bring these deals to you, and then it's your choice how much you want to invest. And again, we expect these things to have these massive payoffs. So it's absolutely incredible. And of course, the hottest artificial intelligence deal is the one we're looking at, and that's the OpenAI killer. And this is the deal that's going to change the game. It's called DARCA. It's a supercharged, intelligent, neurosymbolic, large language model from Singularity Net at massive scale. This is the one, folks. This is our home run in the AI space. Honestly, I was looking for this deal for 5 months. Martini knows I started talking about AI back in January. I'm like, we got to find the deal that's going to change the game. And guess what happened? It just came to us. Now, is that a coincidence? I don't think so. We put out energy in the world. We tell the world what we want. We tell the world our values, and these things come to us. We are super aligned with Zarka on how we see the world and see the future, and how we see decentralization, democratization of information, financial freedom. We're all on the same page, and we got the smartest people in the world. This is a team. It's thick. You got Janet Adams, you got Ben Goertzel, you got Sergey Shalyapin, you got some of the smartest AI people in the world, by the way, that only want to work for Ben. They don't want to work for Altman. They don't want to work for Google. They don't want to work for Microsoft. They want to build the first AGI in the world, and they want to do it for these people. Now, what's going on here? Why Zarka? Well, the opportunity, obviously, ChatGPT blew up the world. So everyone's looking at AI, but this is the problem. And look at this carefully, folks. Look at this in red. This is the key. Today's large language models like ChatGPT, they're based on these deep neural nets, DNNs. They have no ability to reason in complex world environments. They do not know when they are wrong. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about, right? They hallucinate. Do you really want an AI hallucinating and going and, taking out a couple cities or something, or getting the wrong information? This is dangerous. They simply memorize instead of thinking. That's what they do. This is the danger. So there's potential that ChatGPT, all it's ever going to be is a party trick. It might only be able to regurgitate text. If it can't think, then maybe it never goes very far. But the folks at Singularity Net have been doing neurosymbolic AI for 10 years, okay? Neurosymbolic can meta reason beyond the experience learned from their trading data. They can provide strong logical reasoning, right? That's what they do, okay? And they can disrupt every industry because they're working on AGI. And again, it's knowledge-grounded symbolic deduction. It's a very different thing here. It also escapes the monopoly. There's not some big monopoly. This is all going to be decentralized. So you and I can use this stuff. It's crucial. They're going to use smart contracts because they've been on the blockchain for 4 years, which is the only way really to improve this stuff, and get permission to use data, right? A lot of these companies have been ripping data from everybody and not even getting permission from it. And they want to include a diverse, inclusive global user base, which is crucial to train this. I'm telling you, this is the perfect opportunity. And the valuation is low. This is the timeline. They're raising $15 million right now. They're going to build proof of concept by the end of the year. They're going to dump a chunk of more money in January. And they should have products by mid-24. And look, they already been training these robots. I don't know if you've seen these robots like Grace and Desdemona and Sophia. They've got tons of experience in AGI, which the other people don't have. Nobody's been working on AGI. They've just been working on these large language models. I'm telling you, it's apples and oranges. And the people that get this really quickly. Look at the revenues, projecting 55 billion in revenue over 6 years. You put a 100x multiple on that, that's a $5 trillion company. It's the biggest company in the world. This is how big we're playing here, building the biggest company in the world. AI will dominate everything. Will make everything, in some cases, a moot point AI. So this is what we're working on. And again, I'm working on it with people that are good people. This makes a difference to me. I actually believe in Janet and Ben, and I believe they want to create an AI that's good for humanity. I'm not quite sure about anybody else in this space, quite frankly. And look, it's like 5 players. It's Microsoft, OpenAI as a team. It's Google, it's Amazon, it's Apple, it's Tencent in China, and IBM. That's it. Does anybody want to put your future in the hands of those companies? Raise your hand if you do. Are you kidding me? There's no way that's going to work out well for us. No way. These are trillion-dollar companies that have shareholders, and they're throwing out all the guardrails just to get to market so they don't die. Now you've got a group of people like this that have been decentralized, that want to build AGI that does the right thing. Honestly, someone's going to build this thing. My money's on them, quite literally. So we're cutting $1 million check to these folks by the end of the week. My question is this the next 1,000x return investment? Anybody think it could be? I don't know if it is, but for me, it's the closest thing I've seen in a while. And so I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and I'm going to pull the damn trigger. Or I can sit and wait. You're going to blink your eyes and it's going to be Jan 24. You're going to blink your eyes again. It's going to be Jan 25. And guess what? It's too late. So this is happening right now, folks. That's what it is. And look, like I said, thanks to London Real Ventures, I can offer these deals to you. If it wasn't for this, there's no way these people would even call me back. That's just the truth. They just wouldn't. They want my media platforms. Why? Because we bring something special to them. When you come and sign on with us, this is our portfolio company, I have the quadruple threat. So first of all, production. I put your CEO in the leather chair and I create a bespoke 6-camera, high definition, 2-hour interview with me. I get you to articulate your mission. I show the best version of you. I get you to create a Hollywood trailer and I show you off to the world. But that's not enough. Then I distribute that Hollywood trailer, full episode, 20 different video clips to my 5 million subscribers across 6 different content platforms. That's crazy. Next, I connect you with all of my key opinion leaders. I know people in crypto. I know people in blockchain. I know Navy SEALs. I know New York Times best-selling authors. I know mafia made men. If you need somebody's legs broken, whatever you need, I got you, man. I know heavyweight boxers. Don't mess with me, all right? What else? But that's not enough. On top of that, number 4, we cut you a check. I'm not just giving you my sweet smile. We write you a big fat check on top of it. This is why we're seeing all the deals, right? If I didn't have the last part, trust me, we wouldn't see the deals. Nobody wants to hear you're going to give them good social media coverage. When you do them all at once, they're like, we're in. So that's what we do here, folks. And I just want to show you how we do it. How do you learn how to invest? That's the question. Well, in my opinion, you got to surround yourself with the best. How many people believe that's the best way to become the best, is surround yourself with the best? How many people believe this statement? You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Raise your hand if you think that's probably true, right? It's an old Jim Rohn quote, right? Let me see hands of people that think that's true. If your hands aren't up, then that's probably why you are where you're at, okay? You got to surround yourself with the best to be the best. Do me a favor right now. Everybody pull out your phone. Can everybody pull out your phone real quick? Check your text messages. Check them out. Seriously, pull them up right now. I got mine here. Pull them. Look at your last 5 text messages. Look at those people, right? It's probably mom and some friend and some nonsense, work colleague or something. Are any of those people building a $1 billion business? Raise your hand if they are. Are any of those people writing a New York Times bestselling book? Are any of those people going to be the next guest on London Real? Well, then how are those people going to get you to the next level? Because those are the people you're spending your most time with. If they're your top 5 text messages, those are the people you let in your inner circle. What are those people doing with their lives? Do they even want you to be successful? Raise your hand if they actually truly want you to become a billionaire and be richer than them and never talk to them again. Does anybody think they do? I'm sure they're nice people, but they don't really want you to get to the next level. That's the problem, and that's why you're at where you're at right now, in my opinion. So what do I try to do? I try to surround myself with the best, which is one of the reasons I took my daughter to Boston, because I wanted to get her out of London, because I wanted to surround her with the best. So she went to Boston University to be around some of the smartest kids in the world, and that's taking her to the next level. That's why I went to MIT. I had to get out of San Diego. I was the smartest kid in my high school. I went to MIT. Are you kidding me? These kids were crazy smart. It was really hard for the first year. But by the 4th year, I was beating them all because I knew how to outwork them. I knew the system. I knew how to control myself as well. Some of these kids just go out the deep end. This all made me better. The way you're going to get better is to surround yourself with the best, which is what we do inside my investment club. This is Marianne Bartels. She's one of our founding members. She's a 35-year Wall Street executive and OG veteran, all right? She was chief information officer of Merrill Lynch, Bank of America. She knows more about stocks, bonds, interest rates, inflation, yield curves than I ever will, okay? She knows what the Federal Reserve is going to do before they do it. I kid you not. I think she tells them what to do. And she is one of the members. She's invested in all these deals. She's invested in Zarka. She invested in Batum. She invested in Orange Comet. She invested in Swissborg, all of them. And she's on our calls constantly telling me. When she's on the call, Martini knows, I zip it and ask Marianne what's happening with the economy because she knows better than me and she schools us. This is your new peer group if you want to take your life to the next level. She's there. And again, these people will get on Zoom calls with you if you ever have questions. We have the best community in the world. But it's not just her. This is Andrew Haynes. He's our Metaverse expert. This is his NFT gallery he built in the sandbox himself. He's self-taught. He also, in addition to owning Snoop Doggy NFTs and also building his own mansion in the sandbox, goes to one of the top executive training schools in Switzerland that has the top AI professors and basically the C-suite executives from the Fortune 100 companies in the world. He's an incredible asset to have on the team. He's one of 70 members. And then we've got Dr. Encore. 16 months ago, he was in medicine. He took my Crypto and DeFi Academy course. And after that, he completely reinvented himself as a blockchain specialist and as an investment. Now he runs my investment committee. He brought us the Vadim deal. He brought us the Orange Comet deal. We taught him how to source deals. I also challenged him to start doing 10 vlog videos in 10 days, one video a day, and put them on YouTube. He said, Brian, I don't want to do YouTube. I don't want to put myself out there. I said, just do it. He did 10 videos. He came back and said, I'm done. I said, you're not done. Do 20 videos. He did 20. I said, do 30. He did 30. I said, do 40. He did 40. I said, do 100. He did 100. I said, do a year. He did a year. Now he's got a YouTube channel with hundreds of thousands of views. And I don't think it's a coincidence that a few weeks ago, he got offered $100,000 in tokens to be the advisor of a company for free. And he turned it down because he had better things to do. This is what you can become when you surround yourself with the best. And so I believe in this statement. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. My job is to teach you how to do this so you don't need me. That way you become an asset to me, not a liability. That way you can bring the deals in. And that way you stay in my network forever. Why would I get rid of you if you can be an asset? And that's the way we've always thought here at London Real. And that's why I created the investment club. Because back in 21, we invested in Cross the Ages, which is the hottest game in blockchain right now. It's crazy. It's like number one right now in all the gaming sectors and the Illuvium stores. It's been amazing. And look, I studied finance at the MIT Sloan School of Management, one of the best in the world. I worked for 15 years on Wall Street, Chicago, and London. The highest levels of international finance, interest rate derivatives, credit derivatives, you name it, I traded it. And yet I had never heard of any of this, folks. I signed my first pre-sale SAFT agreement. It scared the hell out of me. And if I was scared, if it was confusing to me, we must teach this. So I called up Martini. I said, Martini, we got to start teaching this. He said, Brian, we're too busy. We got crazy people. We got 100 people in our crypto course. I was like, we got to teach this now because no one's teaching this and no one's going to teach this. And to this day, no one in the world is teaching this. Why? Because the rich get richer. The banks don't want you to teach this. My banker friends hate me for teaching this. And that's why we're different. So I created the investment club. It's application only. We open up 10 spaces every single quarter. Then over those 3 months, I teach 6 modules of coursework, but the course lasts for 12 months, 12 months of deal flow. It's weekly live Zoom calls with CEOs that we bring on. They pitch their company to us. Every single week, we have a CEO on the call. We got one on Thursday. Last week, we had 2 CEOs on the call because we got so many deals coming in. They come in, we pitch them, and I give them a Shark Tank grilling. It's brutal. I think everybody comes just to watch. It's like Gladiator, except I always win. Well, not so far, right? But it's fun. We get to really flush them out. They got to prove to us what the deal is. We're about to write them a check for $1 million. They better be good. You get access to our private Telegram group. You get access to all of our deal flows. So far, no one's ever left this club. It's a lifetime deal because why would I want you to leave? If you're bringing in deals and you're bringing in capital, so far everybody stayed. It's the greatest thing we've ever created. I also give you a full year of Kings of DeFi, which is our advanced crypto program. And if you don't know much about crypto, we can even get you in our basic course to bring you up the curve. We've done that with a few members. Next live call is Thursday at 7:15 p.m. Matter of fact, you can meet the CEO on Thursday if you'd like to. And that's another hot deal we're investing in. It's like a Web3 development tool for creators. It's incredible. We're investing alongside the biggest VCs in the world on this deal. This is how we teach remotely. I've got students in over 20 countries. It's an amazing vibe, an amazing community. Everybody wants you to win. Unlike your current friends and family who actually prefer you to be poor, these people want you to win. Not only do they expect you to win, they want you to win. We all want to create $10 billion worth of value. That's 100 million each. This is how I teach in real time. I'm constantly changing the curriculum as the market develops. I also change my suit and tie and colors as the market develops, right? Any preferences here? Do you like the blue, the red, yellow? Come on. What do you like there, Erica? Stick it in the chat. I'll wear it for you. How's that? I'm feeling a little, this is patriotic today, British and American at the same time. You like that? These are the modules. Module 1, what is a blockchain AI metaverse pre-sale? How do you invest in these protocols? I talk a little bit about what I did today, but I go in depth. Module 2 is what is a SAFE and a SAFT. These are the contracts we use to invest early stage. How many people here have ever heard of a SAFT agreement? Do you know what a SAFT is? Raise your hand. Are you kidding me? How can no one here know the document you sign for pre-sale tokens? It's because the rich just get richer and the poor stay poor because they never teach you this stuff. Do you know what they want to teach you this, Mark Gilligan? They want you to be an accredited investor. Has anyone ever heard this term, accredited investor, right? That means you have to be rich to get rich. And that means if you're poor, you stay poor. The system is totally rigged against you. SAFT is a simple agreement for future tokens. It's what you have to sign if you do pre-sale tokens. And you've never heard of it because they don't want you to know this information. Nobody is teaching this. And we're actually investing as well. I'm not some professor at MIT teaching this. We are active investors. Anyways, module 3 is deal flow part 1. I teach you how we do due diligence, the 5 T's: team, traction, technology, tokenomics, terms and conditions. Once you know the 5 T's, you can quickly evaluate a deal in 5 or 10 minutes. If it passes the 5 T's, then we get the CEO on the call. We grill them. We got more questions. They come back with a data room. We go into the data room. Then I talk to all of my people on the inside out there, all my VCs, all my people. I check on the deal. Then we ask them more questions. And if we like it, we invest. Module 4, how do you get new deal flow? I teach you how to go to a conference. I teach you what to wear. Does anybody here have a business card? Anybody here have a business card? Raise your hand. Do you have business cards? Yeah. Leave your damn business cards at home, Grandpa. Nobody wants those at the conferences, all right? When we go to Consensus, it's all about QR codes, right? QR codes. You see this thing? This is my Telegram QR code. This is what we use. We exchange QRs. I take a selfie with you. Bam, immediately we have a connection. That night you have the pitch deck, or I have your pitch deck on my computer and I'm evaluating it. Before the conference is over, I'm already booking you on London Rio. We don't do things the old-fashioned way. I show you what to wear. I tell you the ticket you buy. I show you where to go, the parties, the after parties, the side events. We work these companies like pros. That guy in the Austin thing with the big beard, he was one of my students, Ryan. He walked away with 20 pitch decks from Austin. Woman, Carol, came to Paris with me. She walked away with 16 different pitch decks. Folks, we're not playing around here. We're working these things like nobody's business because the next $1 billion deal is in that conference. We got to find it. Module 5 is how you nurture these investments. Once you cut the check, it's not over, folks. You got to make sure they're successful. You got to give them more investment so they have that exit. Module 6 is how you manage the liquidity events. How do you get out the cash? That's what's important. This is the Telegram group. This is the Discord group. All right. And this is the facts. We are oversubscribed right now. We are oversubscribed. We always are. Martini works 24/7 trying to field phone calls from people all over the world that want to get in on this investment. She usually says no. By the way, you have to go through her to get into this problem. We have 7 confirmed, 1 on hold. We have 2 spaces left. I think there's actually 1 space left because one of those were taken today. The investment for this product is $50,000. It's an investment in your future. We're going to double this to 100,000 in the next cohort because 4 of our students that came in last time said, Brian, you should double this. So I said, okay, it's a significant investment with a massive return that you can use the rest of your life. This is the greatest wealth creation event in human history. And we have a special opportunity in Zarka that's ending literally in a couple days. By the way, this special investment was available 3 months ago for the last class. And if you were on this call, you would have seen this. By the way, this is a SAFT agreement, a pre-sale token purchase agreement on the right. It'll scare you the first time you read it. By the 10th time, you'll be okay with it. And you can sign one of these things. You could have invested in this deal, but you didn't because you didn't get in. But the students that did invest, 24 hours later, we made a 466% return. In 1 day, I made my students $300,000 in 1 day. This wasn't even a big deal. We did this because we were bored that week, to be honest. We were bored. We didn't see any deals. We're like, guys, we want to do this. We don't not expect anything big. We're like, bam, made 5X in 1 day. We have a proven track record of success, and we're swinging for the fences. We want to go big, and that's why we're going for the big dogs. We're hunting big game, and that's what Zarka is. Look, one of my students, Jens, he's a founding member. He called me up today. I said, Brian, these people don't understand. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I've been to these master classes. These people don't understand what we're doing here. They don't understand what they're missing. I was like, I don't care, Jens. We got the people in here. We got all of our people. If they miss out, that's fine. He said, no, Brian, I could have been one of those people. And so Jen said to me, he said, Brian, I'm making you a video and I'm going to send it over. He said, promise me one thing. I said, what's that, Jen? Jen's a little crazy. And I said, what's that, Jens? He said, Brian, you got to play this for these people so they know what's going on. They got to know what it's like from the inside. So I said, okay, Jens. And this is what he sent me.
Why should you join the investment club? And the next obvious question is, can I afford to join the investment club? My name is Jens Krautscheid, and I am an active investor in stocks and companies since age 14. And risking of stating the obvious, I'm German. Also, I am one of the founding members of the investment club. And I consider my decision to join the investment club as one of the best investment decisions I ever made and I ever will make. Why? We all had this pub talk, this talk at the dinner table where we complained about our hustle we have to do daily. We complained on the workload we have, and we try to top up each other who has more stress, who is more hustling. And then sooner or later someone says, well, if I would have been an early stage investor in PayPal, I would be so rich. Or if I would have been an early stage investor in Microsoft, I would be so rich. And this is nice. This is really nice. But let's be honest. If you would have had the chance back then, 1992, to invest in PayPal, would you have pulled the trigger? Would you have invested? Quite likely you wouldn't have, because you couldn't assess the situation. You couldn't value the situation enough. In the investment club, we get these offers on a daily basis. We get the next PayPals on our table. And then we have a team of 50 people, 60 people, of a growing community of people who will do these assessments. And they will say, do this, buy this, this is the way. And then we buy this. And the next question is, can you afford to join the investment club? And the question really should be, can you afford not to join the investment club? Times are getting tougher. AI is taking over. And in what company you want to invest? In which AI company do you want to invest? Do you want to invest in the ones who do the fridges? Or do you want to invest in an early stage Coca-Cola who uses the fridges? It's up to your decision. I tell you now, invest in the investment club and be part of our fabulous, wonderful group. My name is Jens Krautscheid, and I wish you the best decisions of them all.
We like Jens. Everybody like Jens? It's got some good vibes there, Jens does, right? Look, everybody in the club is like that. They're just really amazing people, solid people that want the best from you. Everybody gets along. Everyone's super cooperative, but we're also really competitive to bring the best deals in there. So look, just want to wrap up, folks, and then want to just get to any questions you might have here at the end. But my final thoughts are this. It only takes one of these. One of these deals could completely change your future. Just one. And that's something Marianne said on the very first call. She said, Brian, it just takes one. I said, what do you mean? She said, I know people that invested in Uber, that invested in Google, and one deal changed their entire life, the life of their children and their grandchildren. You could literally affect generations if you get this right. And if you don't have one of these, your portfolio is going to always be mediocre, in my opinion. So final thoughts are this. Don't let 2023 pass you by, because there's no turning the clock back on AI. Learn early stage investing now, because it's going to be here forever. What I'm going to teach you, you can use over and over and over again. 5 deals, 10 deals, 20 deals, 30 deals, 40 deals. Liquid tokens or equity have limited gains. You're buying Ethereum and Bitcoin, great. Ethereum and Bitcoin is not going up 500x, ever. Tesla's not going up 500x. I know all the Bitcoin fanatics. They don't believe Bitcoin's going up 500x. They just don't, all right? And you can learn from active investors for just 50 grand. Active investors. I'm not some professor. I'm not some YouTube podcaster. We are doing the deals. This is a significant investment with a massive ROI, massive. If you want to be one of the big players, if you want to keep doing your thing you're doing now, this is not for you. And Martini called me up a couple months ago. She said, Brian, we're missing out on high quality people. You got to put a payment plan in place. I said, payment plan? What is this? What is this? This is, this isn't like a car installments. She said, look, we're going to get better people in if we allow this. So Thanks to Martini, we put a payment plan in. So for $10,000 a month for 5 months, you can get in. And that means you can get access to this deal this week. Maybe easier for you. Again, you still have to pass the test of Martini, go through her gauntlet and prove to her that you're a good fit for this course. We're looking for good energy, the right people, the right spirit for the future. Talent not required for this. We can teach you to be the best, but what we need is good energy, good character. That we can't teach. And it's for the best deal flow in the world. And at this point, folks, it's a lifetime membership. I'm telling you, that's crazy because you could be in this group for 10 years. And if you amortize that over 10 years, this is crazy. That's why I'm doubling it. I should probably 10X this. So that's my final thoughts. Again, these are some details of Martini. She put them in the chat as well, but you can check out the investment club at /club/Martini is booking a call with her. You can connect direct with her on Facebook if time is quickly because there's the one slot left, or you can email her direct. All these contacts are there. And again, just go back. What is your why? Why are you here on this planet? And is it important to the people in your life to push yourself to become the best version? If you're happy with your life now, then keep phoning it in and do what you're doing. I'm doing it for these guys' future, and I'm very concerned about their future with AI. I'm not going to lie to you, folks. I'm very concerned. Blockchain was exciting, and I love it, and it's going to make a ton of money. AI is more about the future of humanity. It's also going to make a ton of money, but that's what I'm thinking about. And the cat can go either way, but the boys, definitely. And the cat can stay, I guess, but you know. All right, question and answer time. Just want to know if there's any questions. By the way, did everybody enjoy that? Did you get something out of that? I hope you learned something today. I really hope so. Good. Thank you so much for being here. I want to go to questions right now. Before we do, just want to pull in Martini here. She's our director of operations. She's involved in all things investment club. She's invested alongside of us in Zarka and the other investments too. If you want to know more, best to book a call with her. Martini, what should they do?
Hello, and thank you everyone for choosing to start off your week with us. Hopefully you are energized and you're excited and you have some really good ideas going on how you can start to really build some serious wealth for your future and for the future of your family, right? So for those of you who are interested in joining us and being a part of this, I call it the revolution, I went ahead and I put in my information for you guys to go ahead and book a call with me, right? So for those of you who are interested and you guys are a little bit more advanced and all you got to do is just ask us just a couple of questions, we're definitely here for you. I also have a message for those of you who are new to the game, because I know a couple of you messaged me and said that you're new to AI, you're new to investing, you're new to all of this stuff. And I understand that it can be a little bit intimidating for those that where this is very new to you. So I would say you don't need to know everything to be able to pull the trigger. That is the value of having a community of people who are going to be with you to walk you through step by step, every single step of the way, so that when you are making these investments, you're going to have a community of people to kind of bounce ideas off and see if these are good investments, not investments that you want to do and all of that, which will save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and most of all, money. And we're all about building that money and making really good investments along the way. So I went ahead, and for those of you who are wanting to book a call, please take a look at the investment club page first, the information page. Go through all the details and see that everything that is included with it and everything that you're going to be experiencing and learning. And after that, just be sure to jot down some questions and then go ahead and book a call with me, and we can make sure that call flows a little bit better when you know what's going on and what the course entails or what the membership entails. So for those of you who are booking calls, I only want to talk to people who are serious. Okay, so if you're saying that you're going to sign up in 6 months, you're going to sign up in a year from now, you don't know, I honestly, my time is not reserved for you. It is for people who are really taking their investment game and their investment life and generational wealth serious. So once again, only book a call if you are serious about joining us. I do know that we are spread out all throughout the land, all throughout the world. So I understand that we're all in different time zones. So if you see that the time is not available for you within your time zone, please message me on Facebook. Send me a message just to say, hey, you are on our call, and just let me know where you're from and what time is more ideal for you, and I'll do my best to work around the schedule. And once again, there's always email, but Facebook is always the fastest to get a hold of me. I'm a millennial, so I'm always on that social, right? So yes, guys, so the Zarka deal is closing on Friday, okay? Hard stop. on Friday. So if that is something that you're interested in, please go ahead and book your call with me. And so let's get you into the investment club as soon as possible so you can make that investment. All right, guys. So we hope to see you on the inside. And I know Brian's given you a lot to think about. So book your call with me and we'll connect soon. Back to you, Brian.
All right, give it up for Martini, right? Key person here, probably the most in-person person at London Real, and I'm number 2. Martini makes everything happen. She's working 24/7. Seriously, she's getting the best of the best in this investment club, and I'm telling you, once you hang out with these members, they're just next level. Next level, amazing, plugged in, great vision, etc. So just want to say thank you to everyone for being here. Some great comments and questions. People are kind of blown away, kind of what's happening here. Some people are a little scared here. Again, Matthew was saying, I wonder what AI can create with all the blueprints of existence and everything that's happening out there. Make humans redundant. These are the questions I'm asking myself as well, Matthew. You know, some people are saying it's all the warnings are out, but greed will overcome ethics, is what Michael Leonard says. And yes, they will. That's what we're seeing with Google, right? They just threw caution to the wind and they plugged it directly into the live internet, because if they don't, they know their stock price will go to zero. And so this is what one of my guests, Max, called Moloch. It's this tendency for humans to race to zero, even if it involves our own demise. And so you've got to find a way to try to stop that or get benevolent people involved. That's really what we're looking to do. So that's the plan. Look, folks, you're going to watch us do this regardless, and I'll be posting on what's going to happen, or you can be a part of it. I hope you can find a way to join us. Either way, position yourself for AI for the future. One last thing I do want to say is, if for some reason, you know, you don't have the capital to make it to this, and even on a squeeze, you can't, learn blockchain. And we do have our crypto and DeFi accelerator, and we get you up the curve with everything, Web3, blockchain, et cetera. It will help, because this is happening too. And if you don't understand crypto and the metaverse and decentralized finance, these CBDCs are coming. They're trying to outlaw a lot of this crypto in the European Union. SEC Gary Gensler is coming after everything. Trust me, you want access to your money without some government or bank involved. Does everybody know what I'm talking about, right? And they'll pull that money real quick. We've seen so many examples for it. So the time to understand this is now. We have a 4-week course starting in a week from now. And it's londonreal.tv/DeFi, DEFI. So again, it's a smaller price point. Maybe we can at least help you there. And again, a lot of our investment club people are in that call as well. So you can get to know who they are and what they're doing. So that's it, folks. Just want to say thank you so much for spending money with us, Monday with us. We're excited for the future, and we're going to change it is the plan. We're going to create it by changing it. All right, folks? Lots of love. All right? Don't let the machines get you. All right, bye.